Welcome, everyone, to the first ever Aloha Isaac podcast. Here I am with our special guest, Travis. Welcome, Travis.
Thank you.
Travis, tell us where you're from and what do you do?
When people see me and they're not from the island, they usually believe I'm from Hawaii or I'm a local. But I was born in Baltimore, Maryland, but I've come back and forth to the islands ever since I was a baby. And I've been working since 2020 as a registered nurse.
Wow. How did you get involved with becoming a registered nurse?
Personally, with my background, I came from a family who nobody ever went to college, nobody pursued higher education. I was kind of from a generation that kind of looked down upon higher education and just kind of felt like it wasn't necessary. Honestly, before this, I almost became a plumber.
Oh, really?
So I was inclined to enter some sort of trade work, but after accounting and the other jobs, I kind of got this idea that what do I got to lose? And then I just went all in,
Uh,
all in for nursing.
yeah. How was that? Like, obviously, like you mentioned, you're the first one in your family to pursue higher education. Did you ever feel like did you ever doubt yourself in that process? Like, are you doing making the right choice? Is it worth it in the long run?
Yes, all the time. I think college already it's a big beast to take on, going for any sort of degree and even nursing. I think if you talk to any nurse to reflect on their time in nursing school, we all doubted it. We all had moments where like, is this really for me? Like what have I gotten myself into? I think because I knew I was responsible, I had to pay for it. It was really something I wanted to see through the whole way. So um, I really just put all my time and effort into it, and I got through.
Yeah. What is something that you learned about nursing that you didn't really notice at first when you first embraced the career, but that you later came across and appreciated about the career?
I think the big one off the top of my head is you realize everyone has gifts. The job is not about being smart. You don't have to have the answer to everything, but honestly, if you're just human and you just show the gifts that you have, you can thrive in a field like nursing and really anything. The same principles apply to all job fields, but some advice for I guess anyone entering the healthcare field or nursing, if they have that in mind, is gosh, I'd say the majority of the job, if you can just listen and talk to people and hear people, it'll take you a long way just to be a good communicator. Um, the book smarts, it comes later with time, but don't stress it.
Yeah. I think that's very practical advice because in any field, I think you always have to keep that open mind because there's so many scenarios in life that you confront that you probably don't know what to do. So you started off with COVID. You're like kind of like how they say you were thrown in the fire, and then you were then moved over and you started traveling a little bit, and then you started now you're working with babies. How has that shift been for you? Like from going from COVID to babies, what do you think has all these stages kind of like taught you?
I think really there's a time when you gotta just seize the opportunities, because it's kind of like it's like a new beast in the NICU. So for those who don't know, it's neonatal intensive care unit. Um, so serious cases.
Tell us more about that. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of people ask, and I'll joke. I do change diapers and feed babies, and it is fun. It's like really a fun and surreal thing. All the things with a normal baby, just help facilitate their growth. Have as intense as 22-week gestation old babies. So really severe cases. We take babies from Guam and the Truk Islands, all over the other Hawaiian islands other than Oahu. So we are kind of the hub. We are the first line kind of like defense for babies here in the middle of the Pacific Ocean before they will eventually transfer to California would be the next biggest base. It's very common. We get people from Maui, get Hilo, Kona, um, and all those other foreign islands pretty often.
Yeah. And I think that's one thing that most people don't realize how special Oahu is because you do get these available services such as healthcare that you normally can't get on other islands. It's a kind of like a central hub in the Pacific, right? This is that's why it's called the gathering place. It's like this is where people gather not only to socialize and network, but also there's a lot of things such as what you're doing here on the island. Is there like a particular experience that you had with one of these like babies that really like touched your heart or maybe resonated with you until this day?
Really tiny preemie babies, we'll call it a hand hug. So just some education for the listeners. If you have a premature baby, they say you don't necessarily want to like rub your baby or pat your baby if they're super premature, but you can gently just rest your hand on their chest or their back or their bottom, let them feel your presence, and you will see that their heart rate will relax, the respiration rate will relax. Um, and of course, we do something called kangaroo care. So no matter how premature, we'll still get your baby out and have you hold your baby skin to skin and let you talk to your baby um and it's just it's amazing, the human body and you realize the design of humans and creation is amazing because what we have found in research studies is that even if a baby appears maybe uncomfortable upon entering the room, when we put the baby then on the mother's chest or on the father's chest, the heart rates will match, the body temperature will match. And I believe it helps with, anxiety and trauma and all the things we are necessary to do in the NICU. Um, because of course we got to do procedures, but that brings them a level of comfort. And um, so I think it's amazing. And like I said, I always get parents on board. I say, you can talk to your baby, we can open up, the isolette and you can hold their hand and they can hold your finger. And if the parents are not there, I do that myself because, at least for me, I think when I talk to my baby, they like me and then we'll have a better time together. So
Yeah, you guys are bonding.
yeah.
Make a lot of friends.
Yeah.
That's amazing. I often hear that. Like you hear about these like little tips of like playing music when the baby's in the womb. You hear about how important it is to have that skin to skin touch with the parents. So is that true? Like our human biology is made to bond with people around us. Like would you say like we're very connected in the sense that a simple touch or a simple hug can change the whole dynamics of our body, our hormones, our feelings. Would you say that's the case in here?
Yeah, I mean, another example, and this one's really fascinating. This is related to mothers who would like to choose to breastfeed, but may find that they're not producing milk for whatever reason. Studies have even found when you do the kangaroo care and you do the skin to skin with your baby, that will promote breast milk production even, and that's unbelievable. But we do it and we see it. So.
So yeah, that's really amazing to think because oftentimes we don't think it's so simple, but it really is.
Yeah.
That human connection is so important. That's amazing. Um, so as you've been working with these babies and you've been learning about this, what has been something that's really fascinated you about the whole human life?
Their personality, like, I mean, on a baby level, but it's their life. I mean, to eat, feed, sleep, but every baby is unique and every baby is different. There's not one method for every baby. I've had tons where, some they hate their diaper change, but some like their diaper change and they get mad at you if you don't change it fast.
That's hilarious.
Some have a favorite pacifier. Some I do believe, yeah, respond well to music. Yeah, they definitely have a personality. And I have to say the other thing I really notice about them as a whole though is babies are a lot more resilient, I think, than we give them credit for. Um, yeah, the many that I've had, who may not have seemed like they had a good diagnosis or prognosis or outlook or whatever, have come out and they've been all right.
Uh-huh.
So, um, yeah, babies are resilient.
They're resilient, you're saying. They endure. How do they endure, would you say? Like,
So one particular success story of mine that I'll never forget this from a resident of an apartment complex in Honolulu, and he called because he was looking down out from his bedroom window because he heard a woman kind of just wailing and moaning and shouting, and he was just watching this, and he just notices he sees the woman with a bag, and she tosses the bag into the dumpster of his apartment complex. And I guess the guy just doesn't feel right about this, so he goes immediately down to the dumpster and discovers it's a baby in the bag in the dumpster. So then that's when he calls the ambulance, and then of course, because we provide the most extensive care on Oahu, they come to us versus maybe the other children's hospitals. So I'm now learning that I've got the baby who survived being thrown in the dumpster, and all kinds of doctors are coming to my room and checking on this baby to see how it's doing. And they're asking me what's the status of this baby, or do I have any concerns for the night shift? And I say, no, this baby's great. You know, the vital signs are stable. Um, So when you're in a scenario like that where no one's claiming the baby, apparently it's really easy to adopt, and the baby story got so much interest and popularity of people wanting to adopt the baby. Even me and the doctors were joking about adopting this baby because she was so great, she was so amazing, that she ended up being adopted. I think like 2 weeks later, it was like the fastest I've ever heard of a baby being adopted. So that's really great. And she never did have a single problem. Maybe just a few scratches on her belly, but she was great. She was really amazing. She never cried when I changed her diaper. Never cried when I took her temperature or blood pressure. It's kind of like she already had a newfound maturity. I don't know.
yeah, she was kind of like she was kind of like at peace. Would you say? Wow, that's amazing. That is resilient, right?
Yeah, that resilient is the only word I have for it. So babies, yeah, I've seen it with my own eyes.
That's amazing. So you recently got married. Yeah. Uh, I had the privilege to marry you, and that was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Uh, I was really honored by that. Thank you for that. How has that change of being single, being married? You know, you obviously married someone very kind, because some people are like looking to get married. You know, they're. How has that been? Tell us about marriage.
Well, I know I told you the other night that it's surreal, but I think it's still surreal. I think it's because there's so many experiences that I cut myself short on, whether it was, trying out a restaurant or just going to like a spot to watch the sunset, just basic stuff where I wouldn't do it because I'd want to save it because I wanted to share it with somebody. And that's one thing that has followed through, the hopes and the expectations of marriage have followed through to reality is now I have someone who I can do that with, and that's the best part.
Yeah. I always wanted to like share my experiences with somebody, but then there came a time when I was like, I'm wasting a lot of time not doing what I want to do because I'm waiting for somebody. So I always had that like, all right, now I'm just gonna go watch the sunset by myself. I'm just gonna go and do these things by myself. But I can see how you wanted to share that with somebody. That was like a desire you've had since you were young. What are some things that you try to do with your wife that keep that um excitement in the relationship?
Of course, always expanding our avenues of our ministry, our preaching and teaching, about the Bible. And we really work with being creative and keeping that fresh. And that's also just been a fun thing that really enhances our marriage too, because we've gotten to meet so many diverse brothers and sisters on the islands who um, just do things a little bit different from the mainland. I mean, of course, but we've learned so many tips and tricks from other pioneers and experienced brothers and sisters to expand our ministry in just really practical ways.
That's wonderful. Uh, yeah, you recently went to Japan. Was there like a specific place that, you felt like if you could only go back to Japan one time or to one location for that trip, what location would that be?
Oh, I know where I'd go. I'd go back to the monkeys.
Oh yeah.
No, what I mean to say is I would go back home. I would go back home to Nagano. So in this trip, my big item was this little region northwest of Tokyo called Nagano. This place is famous for the Japanese snow monkeys. Um, and this place, I feel like a part of me is still there.
Think you have some pictures, right?
Yep. So in the photos you'll see is our lodging that I booked there. Um, I specifically wanted to stay in a ryokan, so a traditional Japanese inn. The name of it was called Jigo Kudani Kurakuken. Um, and basically, this place is so amazing because this is within the Snow Monkey Park. It's the only lodging on site of the park, and yeah, that's my favorite picture of the property. So um, it was amazing because uh, I guess this place is so famous that when we had planned to go, I was looking at the dates and they were all booked, except for one particular day in January. And I was so dead set on this. I booked the lodging before I even had the flight or the PTO for work.
Wow. So you were set on this place. Like this
Yeah,
was priority, top priority for you.
yeah. And then this out, we're the only guests on the entire property for this night that we're staying.
No way.
So we've got the entire ryokan to ourselves within Snow Monkey Park. So the park, closes I think at 6 or 7 or 8 p.m. So we will be the only four people in the mountains, immersed in this.
That is amazing. That's like your ultimate resort luxury getaway.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
right behind me, and I'm just ever so carefully selfie, like on myself and over my shoulder.
That is amazing. I can't imagine what it's like to be in a hot tub or with a monkey. That is so funny.
Yeah, it was surreal. And then, so me and my brother, we enjoy for a while, and then we walk back in, and then I escort my wife out. I'm like, you got to experience this one in a lifetime shot. So we go, same thing, nice and easy. We get into the bath around us, and it's a cold night, so at times we would see the monkeys huddled up next to like gosh, there's like a vending machine outside of the ryokan that they're huddled up next to the warm wiring and the heating. On the pipes of the bathroom, you can see outside of the window, and there's a couple monkeys cuddling there for warmth, and it was just a surreal experience, especially to have it all to ourselves. It was so amazing.
It was an awesome, awesome experience.
Yeah.
What an honor that
No,
was.
thank you again.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for being part of this first episode of the Aloha Isaac podcast. And I look forward to sharing more wonderful experiences with you, friends that are joining us. Uh, Travis here is an amazing brother. And thank you so much, Travis, for being with us. This
I
is
know,
really
thank
special.
you. I know, gosh, I feel like we keep talking for like another 3 hours.
Yeah, no, we could.
Until next time, though, yeah.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. All right. Bye, everyone.